Cissé. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social. This is Seagulls Social's end of season award ceremony. Everyone, welcome. We got a live audience.
It's awards night.
It's awards night. We've all come suited and booted.
We've got some Brighton legends in the crowd. We've got Chris Eubank Jr. over there. Well done on the fight, mate.
RD in the corner.
RD's over there as well. Yeah.
Connor Maynard. Rizzle kicks. Oh, yeah,
Connor
RD's
Maynard, Jack Maynard's here. Got Disco Pete's at the back.
Yeah.
We've
got the guy who
some of the Love Island cast.
Yeah, but the bloke who goes around town selling bird whistles.
He's outside selling. He's outside selling bird whistles.
Yeah.
And rest in peace, Disco Pete. He's going to be one of our honorary members of the awards as well.
Yeah.
So
he's being installed into the
Hall of Fame.
Social Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Commemorative brick.
Yeah. So for anyone who's new here, we do this every year. So this season we have got various categories, and I will be going through each category, and then of course everyone will be giving their vote, and we'll see if we have a unanimous winner. If not, we might have to share some awards. But yeah, unfortunately, none of the players are going to be accepting awards tonight. But we might email them / send them in the post with a little trophy for their winnings. But yeah, so shall we get the ceremony? Yeah. Jack will personally deliver the awards in only a Brighton top and nothing else.
That sounds like a threat, doesn't it? That sounds like I'm going to come and deliver. I'm going to come and deliver the award to you.
The players are going to pray they don't win.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's start us off, boys, with the. I'm going to do it in reverse order. We're going to keep the best awards to last, just to keep retention. Goal of the season award. It's like the BAFTAs. Goal of the season. And Ben, please, can you put forward your nomination? And then we're all going to nominate someone, and then we'll have an eventual winner. So what is your nomination for goal of the season, Ben Spalding?
It's weird because I thought it was quite a boring goal when it won our goal of the season. Did it win Premier League goal of the season as well? I'm thinking I'm going to pick.
Marmouche did.
He got robbed. He got robbed.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Marmouche won it.
I could have sworn. Or maybe he won our... Yeah, maybe it was our goal of the season. Anyway, I think Matoma's versus Chelsea. That ball goes over the top. An unbelievable touch. Like, when I think of that touch, I think of Dennis Bergkamp's touch. I think of Luis Suarez's touch where he brought it down against Newcastle or Norwich. I think it's up there with that sort of control. And then an incredible finish as well. To do against Chelsea... Confirmed back-to-back victories against Chelsea. I'm pretty sure that was the second game, right? Because it was FA Cup and then it was Premier League.
Yeah, after the 7-0 Forest defeat as well. So, all the more sweeter. I'll jump in.
Matoma.
I'll jump in as well, I've also nominated Matoma versus Chelsea. I think, purely for the first touch. One of the best first touches I've seen ever, I think, up there with one of the best first touches I've ever seen. And also his first touch in general is outrageous. So, for the touch and the finish as well, it was a fantastic goal, and he got robbed by the Premier League for that one. But that is also my nominations. The 2 nominations for Matoma versus Chelsea. Jack, are you going to make it a hat-trick, or are you going to go for something else?
I think it's the best goal, like one of the best goals I've ever seen. If Messi did that, I think that goes on like Messi's compilations for like the rest of his life. It's like one of the greatest goals in football history. So, but because it's Karim Matoma and he played for Brighton, it won't quite get that. But I think it's good. Do want to do a shout out for though?
Honourable mentions.
Gomez's.
Honourable mentions.
Yeah, honourable mention for me, Diego Gomez on the last day. I thought like the way he wrapped his foot around that and put that into the side netting, side netting of the goal. Fantastic way to round off the season in the last minute.
My honourable mention is Carlos Baleba, of course, against West Ham. It was a fantastic goal. I mean, it looked like it was going to Rosette, but then just dipped at the last minute. And, of course, was a winner as well. So, for me, that has got to be an honourable mention for me. Ben?
My honourable mention, just thought of it, Lamptey versus Leicester away with his left foot. Forgot about that one.
Shout,
just incredible. Where the hell did that come from?
Ayari as well.
Ayari, great goal. Another rogue honorary mention for goal of season was Lamptey's against Villa in terms of a team goal. Like the way it
Yeah.
went all the way from the centre back
Great
to
shot.
goalkeeper, out wide. Lamptey ran it up the pitch, and then it came across. So yeah, I think, and that was great because there's a great video of me on some Villa fans YouTube channel filming the away end, which I normally don't like, but if they keep on filming me in my yellow jacket run down the steps at breakneck speed, that's well worth a watch. So yeah,
we'll make sure to link that up. But yeah, no, some fantastic goals to be fair this season. We've scored some absolute corkers to be fair to us. But yes, Kara Matoma versus Chelsea is our first winner of Seagulls Social Awards night. Well done, Karen. Great, fantastic goal. Keep it up, mate. We don't want to see you leave ever. Right,
I'll see you at your house soon.
Yes, that's
with
it.
the awards.
Right, next award is Performance of the Season. Now, this can be interpreted in two ways. You can either have a player performance, so an individual standout performance, or a team performance where you feel like the team has done really well in a given occasion, etc. So, Jack, we'll start off with you, mate. What has been your performance of the season?
Well, I'll do one for both. So, team performance of the season, they're actually both in the same game. So, team performance of the season for me was Newcastle away in the FA Cup. Thought we were, against one of the hardest places to go in England, away from home. And I just thought, as a team, we worked so hard to really grind out that victory. And then individual player performance of the season, for me, again, was in that game. It was a man in central midfield. Jack Hinchelwood, for me, I thought was absolutely fantastic in that role. I thought he was everywhere against what is arguably the best midfield in the league, I think, at the moment, of Tonali, Guimaraes and Joel Linton. Yeah.
Yeah, great answers there. Ben?
Probably away against Forest. I will say no. I don't know why this popped into my head when I thought about this. First game of season, Everton away, we looked absolute mustard. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
We were like, this is what Hursley's football was all about.
With Milner playing as well.
And yeah, Milner, Weaver, Matoma and Minter linking up really well on the wings.
Mm-hmm.
We scored some brilliant goals that day as a team. So yeah, I'm going to give that. I do like Jack's shout of Newcastle away because we were going against a super strong team there in a big FA Cup match, and walking away from St James's Park, going through in the FA Cup was massive. But I'm going to throw it out there and be rogue and say Everton at home first game away, first game of the season.
Oh, I like that a lot. Very different and very commendable answer. I'm also going to go for something different, and I'm going to go with our performance against Chelsea. Funnily enough, in the game that Matoma scored and made it 3-0, but also it could be the FA Cup one as well, purely because of how it was off the back of losing 7-0 to Forest, and we needed a reaction. And those two games were huge in that reaction, and it showed that Herzl changed things up, the team responded, and we needed a big performance after that 7-0 drubbing. So I'm going to go with, I don't know whether to go with the FA Cup or the Chelsea League game. I'll go Chelsea League game. 3-0. Obviously, sort of like a bit of a statement win against what was eventually the winners of the Conference League, which doesn't really say much, but in the time at the time, it felt like a big win, and also nice to always get win over Chelsea as well. I'll go with that for mine. But I'm happy to agree with Jack's. I think Jack's FA Cup shout, Newcastle away, I'm happy to go with that. Ben, do you want to go with that as well, or do you want to go with something else?
Yeah, no, I probably will. I probably will. It was a statement win, I think, winning it that way. And also, it was nice that Sonny March got the all-important assist as well when he came on. So they got a lot of good stories within that game. So yeah, that's a good one for me.
Nice. All right, all agreed then. The winner of the performance of the season is Brighton away to Newcastle in the FA Cup.
Well done, Brighton.
Well done, Brighton. Well done for winning the game.
There was only one winner.
Right. Next one. This is a good one actually, because we made a lot of signings this season. Your signing of the season, and I'll kick us off on this one. So I've actually, do you know what as well? I've cheated a little bit. I've given sort of a combined winner, as in I've gone for 2 players on this one, and shoot me if you have to. But I am going with 2 players. So my first nomination. I'll give 2 nominations, mate. I'll do what I want. All right. So first nomination is Jorginho Rutter, and I think it's quite self-explanatory. I think when he came in, he's been fantastic all season. Really big shame about his injury. I thought he added something different to the forward line. I think he was just off the pitch as well, like what he brought to, the vibes, always, with his camera out after the games. I know that's not a requirement of being a good signing, but he also backed it up on the pitch as well, which is very important. So that is my first nominee, Jorginho Rutter. And my second nominee as well is Minter. I feel like, again, he hasn't been super consistent throughout the season, but he's shown us a lot since he come in. And I think he's a massive threat. And I think he's going to have a big season next season. And I feel like he's a very, a worthy nominee for this award. So they are my two nominees. And Jack, you can go next, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jorginho Rutter, unsurprisingly again. I think Jorginho Rutter has been really, really good this season. He's brought a new element to that sort of attacking midfield role. Like, I think, as I've said, we have recorded this after we've done the keep, loan, sell thing, not to ruin the magic for everyone, but that's how it works. But, I think he did the Pedro role almost better than Pedro did at times. So, I really like Jorginho Rutter. Thought he works so hard. I don't think the work rate is really appreciated, like how much he works for everything. He's got some really important goals. He went 1-0 down really early against Chelsea from a big mistake from Bruggen, and especially off the back of the 7-0 defeat, it could have really, really brought our confidence down. But for him just to get that quick reply, carry on as normal, go on and chase the winner, I think it summed him up as a player, I think, and showed what he always brings to the team. And so, as much as we sort of jokingly say that we can't beat the relegation team, he did pretty well at scoring against teams at the bottom end of the table. Tottenham, Man United, Ipswich Town. It's true. It's true.
No, it's true.
So yeah. So yeah.
Okay, nice. Ben?
Yeah, Rutter for me. It's interesting because with Rutter, the first few games I thought absolute donkey what we wasted money on here, and then for the turnaround that he did have to become a fan favourite so quickly, and like you mentioned, Maz, all of the off-camera post-game stuff on the pitch with the camera, everyone just fell in love with him, and I don't think we could argue anyone else should be winning this award other than Jorginho Rutter, in my opinion.
Well said, Ben. And yeah, that does confirm it. Jorginho Rutter is our signing of the season.
And I do think he's done really, really well to sort of become that signing of the season, because I think of all the transfers we made over the summer, I think the whole footballing world sort of went, why the hell are you paying 40 million for him? And I think even some of us were going, why the hell have we paid 40 million for him? And
some Leeds fans even said it.
Yeah. And, of all the signings we have made, I think he's been absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, for me.
Worthy winner. Worthy winner, Jorginho Rutter. Well done on signing of the season. Right, moving on. We have got a great category here. It is our Unsung Hero. And Ben, because you went last, you get to start here. Who is your Unsung Hero of the 24-25 season?
Unsung Hero. I wrote down... Maz, I know I just slated you the last time for doing two nominees, but I guess if these are the rules, these are the rules. So it's helped me out here because there were two that I wanted to add.
I also have two, so don't worry about it.
I have two as well.
I'm going to say my least... I'm saying one that I probably am least confident about on winning the award, but it's a Yari, simply because he has been sung about, but at times he still hasn't been sung about enough, maybe. That could be my explanation for that one. But the Unsung Hero... Oh, it's actually bad. This one's bad as well because he has been sung about. But it's more like surprised rather than unsung, because Adam Webster did change a lot of our games this season. And I said it in the last episode we just recorded like 30 minutes ago about how there's a stat, and I can't remember it, about how many games we've won with him playing. So for that reason, I'm going to put Adam Webster forward.
Nice. Jack, who are your two nominees?
Okay, my two nominees for this are, so number one is I'm going to go with, I think this player has been sung about a lot. I said his performance this season. I do think he's well regarded by the club, so maybe he's not so much unsung, so maybe the other one will be better. But for me, Jack Hinchelwood, he's played about everywhere this season. He's played up front, he's played at fullback, he's played central midfield. I don't think he played centre of defence, but, he's been all over, and he just kind of does what's required of him every time. And he doesn't, Well, he gets goal for fun if he plays up front, clearly, judging by the last game of the season. But, you know, he's just sort of done everything. And, yeah, I just think it shows, like, what he's worth as a player in that he will do whatever the manager tells him to do. You know, and he's loved by the fans. You know, it's great to have a lad from the local area. And, you know, he always puts in 100%. And, you know, when he has a bad game, I think everybody hates it because you've got to slightly criticise him or say he wasn't in it. So, yeah, for me, I think it's Jack Hinchelwood. Been one of mine. And then the other one I was going to nominate is, again, same as Ben, Yasin Ayari. I think, you know, he's done really well at sort of ticking things over across the whole season. I still see a lot of people just say, like, he's shit on Twitter all the time as well. I do just think, you know, I don't get it. Like, he's done really well for us this season at different times. And, yeah, I think he really sort of deserves his plaudits this season to almost become a key player. And, yeah, he has his bad games. He has his good play. But, you know, a lot of the stuff he does, we don't notice. And I've used a Billy Gilmore comparison before with him, and he does do a lot of the dirty work. But then at the end of the season, he started adding goals and assists to that. So, yeah, for me, Yasin Ayari and Jack Hinchelwood.
Nice. And I also have got one different player, but one same as you guys. So out of the 6 players, it's going to be an interesting one to see who we're going to vote on. So, yes, I've also gone for Ben's one, Adam Webster. I've also gone for Webster. I feel like, especially in the latter part of the season, really came on leaps and bounds and became really pivotal to how we played and our good results. But my other nominee, which we haven't discussed yet, is Mr. Joel Veltman. Now, I've got a very interesting stat. In the 15 games he didn't play for us this season, we only won 3 of those. So we either draw or lost 12 out of the 15 he didn't play in. And I feel like he was so good before his injury. And I think he just shows that he is Mr. Consistent. We're so much better defensively for him in the team. And I just, he does get his praises. You know, people love him. He's a bit of a fan favourite. But again, I felt like he sort of went under the radar, especially because he was injured for a big part of the season. So maybe he didn't get his flowers for that. So that is my new nominee. So out of the players we mentioned, boys, we've got Adam Webster, we've got Yasin Ayari, we've got Hinchelwood, and we've got Veltman. So who
I'm going to start the debate.
Obviously, Webster's got 2, and Ayari's got 2 votes. So one of those 2.
I'm gonna start the debate because I think Hinchelwood's a stupid nomination, to be honest, Jack. I think he is absolutely sung.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree. I do
That's
agree.
fair.
The more I
That's
thought about it, like
that's fair.
everyone loves Jack.
Everyone does love Jack, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm great. So do you know what? Thinking about it now, like the more you've spoken about it, and I think
we get it. He DM'd you when you had your accident.
Yeah.
We get it.
Good lad.
Fine.
Good lad. But for me, I do actually, you speaking about it, and I do think it's interesting bringing up the sort of stats about winning games with him. And I do think the character arc from the Chelsea game all the way through to the end of the season, where he became probably the first name on the team sheet. For me, I think we should go with Adam Webster for Unsung Hero of the season because he's a player who's got, I think, Christ, someone said, like, you know, I remember when he had that half time at Chelsea, the amount of abuse that he got, like, on Twitter from various people was insane. I've not seen that for a Brighton player for, like, a long time. And, like, considering, and, you know, I watched it and just went, he's been poor. And for him to go from that to, you know, this guy's
the comeback.
Really the
second
comeback
half against, was it the Arsenal game? Was that when he got introduced, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Half-time or something like that, and he just became well beaten, thinking, who the hell is this bloke?
Yeah, and then when he went out the team for a bit, we really missed him. So yeah, for me, I think Adam Webster, I think is a great shout.
Not Joel Veltman.
Veltman.
Cool.
Everyone loves Veltman.
Go about.
Yeah,
everyone loves Veltman.
Yeah,
I think
that's
a stupid shout as well. I think that's a stupid shout.
No, it's not. It's not. It's much better than Jack Hinchelwood. Right. Anyway, we're all decided Adam Webster is our unsung hero of the season.
Yeah, agree.
Yes.
With a very close second for Yasin Ayari.
Correct.
And Veltman.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
I'm joking. Right, well done, Webster, for winning our unsung hero of the
You'll
season.
see me at your house soon with the award.
Right,
how'd your wives, how'd your kids?
People might think you're being serious.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Our next award is our most improved player of the season. Now, Ben, you started last time. Jack, I'll start. I'll start this one. Let's go with. I'm going to go with my most improved player, and purely based off how he went from the Everton game to being really good to then being really, really, really bad to then becoming really, really good in the last sort of 6 to 7 games. It is Matt Weaver for me. I feel like he's come on leaps and bounds towards the end of the season. He was colossus at right back. I feel like he was arguably one of our best players in the last 5 to 6 games, playing at right back. A very unnatural position to it. Well, not unnatural, but not a position that he's accustomed to playing. So yeah, my nominee is Matt Weaver for most improved, even though he did come with a bit of a rep, so maybe he doesn't really hit the mark with that. But yeah, I'm going to go Matt Weaver. Jack?
I'm going to go for another new signing as well. A player who I, as recently as April, said was crap. And weirdly, he almost feels like he's just got better within the last month. And I was pretty harsh on him at times. I think Brian Gruder. And I think it's crazy that how far he's come on since the Palace game when he just couldn't, we couldn't get a ball in the box against 9 men. And I was like, if he can't do that, then he's really going to struggle to, basically looking like one of the best players on the pitch against the champions, against Liverpool. So yeah, for me, it's Brian Gruder, and I think he's got a huge part to play next season for us. Yeah.
Agreed. Ben?
I'm going to say Jack Hinshelwood for this one. I know, just Jack
That's
maybe
stupid. This is stupid.
Jack got it mixed up with his generational stinker tonight. So I'm going to say Jack Hinshelwood.
What phase is he in? What phase is Jack Stevenson in?
Not a good one.
Yeah, I think Jack Hinshelwood is
Jack?
most improved. He's just become one of our most important players this season, and he's been so clutch for us. He's got some really important goals and some really big moments. We talk about the team performance of the season. Jack Hinshelwood is instrumental in that Newcastle game, in my humble opinion. To think that he's an academy prospect, maybe there's a little bit of bias there because we want to say that our academy is thriving every season. But I think he does fit that bill. I don't think it is complete bias. I think that he has just been incredible for us this season. We obviously have been speaking recently about does he start for the team? And it's hard to say no sometimes, but when we got unbelievable midfielders that he's battling with. So for me, it would be Hinshelwood, but then also notable honourable mention would have to be Yasin Ayara as well.
Interesting. Okay. So we have got 3 nominees for this one, all different. So we're going to have to try and come to a conclusion, boys. So do we want to sort of state our case for the player and then go from there? Or do we want to have now that we've all gone through our...
Does anyone want to change their mind now?
So I want to stick with Weaver.
I think of the 2 I would have picked, it would have been Weaver or Gruder. So I'm more likely to change my vote to Weaver than it is to Hinshelwood.
Oh, see, okay, right. So if you two, none of you want me, I think I get the deciding vote then from this one.
No.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do, Jack.
Yeah.
I do.
No.
None of you think that Hinshelwood is.
Yeah, Hinshelwood. So he gets
I'm
to pick
gonna
out of
now change
Gruder
my
and
mind.
Weaver. Yeah.
Oh.
Because of the level that we thought Weaver was coming in at, I think he's now just kind of reaching what we expected of him. Whereas with Gruder, he has actually improved on paper as a younger player.
100%.
So I'm going to say
100%.
Rahan Gruder.
Yep.
Yeah,
Fair
no,
enough.
I'm very happy with that. So our most improved player this season, according to Seagulls Social, is Brighton Gruder. So well done, Brighton.
Saw him in town the other week.
You're not going to get a visit from Jack.
Saw him in town once, so, if you're ever walking past the mesmerist again, when you were the other week,
Honestly,
I'll
Jack,
surprise you! I'll surprise you!
I think Jack's going to get sexual.
I'm going to be so terrified if he turns up to my house. I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
Right, let's go on to our next and penultimate award this season before we go on to our next season predictions. We have got our young player of the season. Now, I think we've mentioned quite a few young players so far, so there's going to be maybe a few cropping up that have been talked about. But Jack, do you want to start us off, mate? And then Ben, you go next, and I'll go
So
next.
I'm going to do 2 here because I do think there's 2 categories of young player. So I think there's like young player who's regularly in the team, and I just think young player around.
And then
the
under
club.
16.
Yeah, we're going to go.
Harry
Tyler
Howard.
Silsby. No, Tyler Silsby is a good player, but he's in the 18, so I'm not going to nominate him.
Too early for Jack.
Yeah, it's so what I'm going to go for is so young player who's in the team regularly. I think is Jack Hinchelwood again. I think he's a young player. I think he's just he's Mr. Club man, isn't he? Really, like he's everything. But actually, scrap that view. I've just remembered Carlos Baleba is young player of the season for me. I think he's been the best young player in the team. He's just as young as Jack. He's looked like play. He's definitely in the talk for player of the season nomination. So if you're in that sort of talk and you're younger, you've got to be the option for young player of the season. But then the other young player of the season I'm going to nominate is Harry Howe. I think he's broken into the first team, our youngest ever Premier League player, which I think is an amazing achievement for him to come into the team. He scored 20 goals for the under-21s, which is a phenomenal achievement considering he's only 17, and he's playing with players 2-3 years older than him. That he's actually skipped the under-18s completely and gone straight into the under-21s. So I think he's got a huge future with us. And his ability will only go up from there. And for him to get that first team appearance against Liverpool was great. So yeah, for me, Carlos Baleba and then Harry Howe is sort of like Academy Player of the Year.
Nice. Ben?
My one and only nomination is Carlos Baleba. What an unbelievable player. The love child of Caicedo and Basuma. He will be reaching levels higher than both of them combined in his career. So yeah, for that reason, it's Carlos Baleba for me, young player of the season.
Yeah. My two nominations were also two that Jack mentioned. They were Carlos Baleba, of course, and Jack Hinchelwood as well. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Carlos Baleba purely because, as both of you mentioned, for his age, his ceiling is outrageously high. He is going to be one of the best centre midfielders in the Premier League. I stand by it. I also said on the overlap that he's going to be a £150 million player. And again, I stand by it. I got pelters for it. People said that he's never going to reach those kind of levels, but I disagree. I think he's going to be one of the leading centre midfielders in the Premier League in a couple of seasons, if he stays in the Premier League, that is. But yeah, so we're all unanimous in Carlos Baleba.
Carlos Baleba, yeah. And then Harry Howe for Academy Player of the Year.
Yeah, Harry Howe is the only nominee
Jack's award.
for that.
Jack Albion Award.
Yeah, to be fair, I gave that last year. I remember I've given this over the last few years, because I watch a lot of the under-21s, to be fair, so I do get a good look at some of the youth teams, and I do think like Academy Player of the Year was Harry Howe. I think he's got a great future at the club, and that's one to look out for over the next few seasons.
Before we do Player of the Year, should we do a quick fun one, Jack? This could be another Jack Albion Award. Fan of the Year, Jack. Who would be your fan of the year?
Fan of the Year. I mean, just from
Should
my
we give it to Lewis for doing the walk.
Archie, his name was.
Walk through Lewis.
Yeah. I'll give a triple nomination to Archie, Jensen, and Teddy, who did the walk. But special mention to Archie because he did also go to Japan with me. He was also out in Japan.
That's tough for anyone to spend any.
Yeah, I know. So, fair play to Archie for going out to Japan and doing the walk to the Amex. And again, another nominee, Sam Osborne, for once again doing every single game, which is one more than me this season. So he's a good man, and
shout out Sam.
Shout out Sam, yeah.
Sam and the boys.
Yeah.
Sam. I used to play football with Sam, random fact.
Yeah.
But yes, all right, boys. Well, there you go. That is Jack's. I agree with both of those nominees. Or four nominees, actually, in total. Well done, boys, for being fans of the year.
Yeah. I can't get, if you any four of you want an award, I'll get you an award for Seagulls Social Fan of the Year.
We'll send you something in the post.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pint. Yeah. It's a pint. Not for Archie Jensen though, because I do believe they are under 18, and that would be illegal. So
correct.
Just like
so it's being mates with them, Jack, but you still do.
Right, that brings us on nicely to the Player of the Season, the big award, the one that everyone wants. And Ben, you can start us off on this one. I'll go second, and Jack can go last.
Oh, I really didn't want to go first for this one. I'm nervous. I don't get nervous. Oh, it's tough. I mean, does my guy do the double? Does he do a clean sweep? just for the hell of it, I'm going to say yes, he does. I'm going to say Carlos Baleba is going to win Player of the Season as well. He's going to do the double, baby.
Okay, why Carlos Baleba for Player of the Season?
I mean, my other nominee would be Jan-Paul van Hek, because he's just been an absolute boss in centre back this season. One of few players that have been a regular in the team. We don't really do those at Brighton, do we? But so is Baleba, and I just think the talent that Baleba has is so exciting to watch and very entertaining. And just his personality, he makes me happy when I see videos of him doing his whistling, doing his weird dancing and stuff like that. He just brings the vibes, brings the talent along with it, which is usually, you can't really do both, but like Paul Pogba could not do both. So yeah, for that reason, Baleba is going to win Young Player and Player of the Season for me.
Okay, interesting. And then my nominee is actually someone you might not... it's interesting to see your guys' reaction to this, but mine is Karu Matoma. And that's not just because I want him to stay. It's because he has scored 10 goals. I think he's got 4 assists in the Premier League alone. I think his overall stats in all comps is 11 goals, 4 assists. So I think the guy is not only a special player, but he has scored goals, and also he hasn't exactly played every single game this season, although and he's come off the bench quite a few times. But I just think he's so important to the way we play. I think it's so obvious that when he comes off the bench or when he's not playing, that how much we need him and how much importance he is to the team, and his quality just shines through. And I think he's a very worthy winner of the Player of the Season for me. Jack?
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you said the 10 goal thing, I think a very interesting stat when you say 10 goals, it is the first season in the Premier League we've had 3 players score 10 goals.
Yeah, cheers,
Correct,
mate. We
yes,
learned that a few weeks
João
ago.
João Pedro, Matoma and Welbeck, right?
Yeah, I think that's like...
Fabinho.
I think that's sort of, when you think of lower Premier League teams, you kind of think they've got like 3 players that are capable of scoring 10 goals. So maybe we have sort of got to that sort of area like that we've strived to be in the top 10. So that's a very interesting stat. But my Player of the Season is neither of those 2. So I've got 2. I've really ruined that. So one I want to give a shout out to, which I think is Danny Welbeck. I think, scoring 10 goals for the first time in his career in the Premier League, which is a great achievement for him. Really glad he's done it with us. Breaking Premier League goal-scoring record for Brighton, beating Pascal, because I love Pascal, but, Danny Welbeck done that. And he's a player I've loved since I was a kid, really. So, it's really good to see him, and I think he's really sort of showed his quality this season. When I think maybe some of us saw him as sort of mentioning no names, saw him as a free transfer who we got, who may not be the future of the club, and he's proved to be 4 seasons in that he is great for us. And then my real nomination, which I think is deserved, is Jan-Paul van Hek. I think he's shown that he's a future captain. He's shown every single kind of ability. He's been a rock in central defence. He's been amazing. He's been an ever-presence. Even when we play crap, he looks quite good. He got his first goal this season. Yeah, I can't really say much more that I like about Van Hek, considering on his debut, he looked absolutely crap. And now, look at him now. He looks amazing. And yeah, there you go. Jan-Paul van Hek for me.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So we've got 3 different nominees for this one then. So Jan-Paul van Hek, Karu Matoma, and Ben, who was yours again? Baleba.
Baleba.
Right. Okay. Right. So how are we going to do this? Because obviously we've got 3 different nominees. Go on,
I think at the end of the season, he proved his worth to us more than anyone, in that pretty much every game he came on, he either assisted or scored. So for me, I think my deciding vote would go to Karu Matoma.
Interesting. Okay, Ben?
I don't know, I just feel like maybe the absence in the team, maybe if he played like a full season, I feel like we just didn't see him enough for him to win the award. Baleba, I would love to know the minutes he played, but he probably... up there with Van Hek, probably played the most minutes for us, maybe. Jack, you might be able to tell me
interestingly, Ben, in the Premier League, Matoma only missed 2 games, so I don't know where your theory...
it feels like he missed more, though. I don't know why.
According to stats, mate, he's only missed 2. Leicester and Newcastle.
Unless he didn't start many because of fitness and stuff. I don't know. Maybe he was on the bench for more. I don't know.
Only towards the end of the season, so maybe it's recency bias, but
Maybe.
my stats
Okay,
back
well-
me up, to be honest.
What about Baleba? Did he play every game? Like,
He missed Forest
I
away.
believe he probably did. And also as well, technically,
wasn't Forest away.
Belabor won the youth award, so he's ineligible for this one, sadly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember in the past people winning Young Player of the Year.
Yeah, I do remember people winning both.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Okay, I'm happy to say Matoma.
I think all three are worthy
Do you know what?
winners.
Do you know what though? Sorry to interrupt. I actually, do you know what? I actually really like Jack shout of Welbeck. So I do like that shout, Welbeck, especially for
Let's do Welbeck.
So look, I'm happy with Matoma or Welbeck. I'm happy with Matoma or Welbeck, to be honest.
Let's go Welbeck. Let's give Welbeck player of the season.
Welbeck,
Because I think
Welbeck, Danny Welbeck.
because when we've been
one player this season.
when we've been shit, like when we have been bad, he's still carried on scoring. And I think that shows
be
how
fair to
good a
him,
player is.
he's actually kept fit this season as well, which was one of his big problems, which I was a massive annoyance of mine, was the fact he couldn't keep fit, and the fact he has actually kept fit pretty much all season. I don't think has he missed a game? I don't think he feel like he hasn't missed a game.
He hasn't missed many. He missed Tottenham, didn't he?
Couple.
Yeah, he missed a couple.
Of course, missed a couple, yeah. But yeah, do you know what, Danny Welbeck, you are our player of the season. So well done, mate. Well done.
I also think another reason why he's been so good is because, like I said, when we've been shit, so Palace away, we were crap. He just popped up with an equaliser, didn't he? Brentford away, we were crap, and he popped up with an equaliser there. Bournemouth at home, when we were pretty under the cosh, he managed to roll in the winner, didn't he? So, yeah, I think he's sort of...
And his free kick against Forest was sensational as well. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done, Danny.
And the winner
well done, Danny,
against
mate.
Newcastle in the FA Cup.
Oh, winner against Newcastle, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So,
yeah,
very worthy winner, mate. Well done. And that wraps up our season awards for this season. However, we're not finished. We've got a few to look forward to next season. So, let's go through these, boys. So, Ben, start us off, mate. How would you rate this season out of 10?
I'm going to say it was an 8 out of 10. We finished 8th.
Why an 8 and not 7 or 9?
Not 7 because any other season we would have got European football, and in such a season where we've got a new manager, youngest ever, classic, rattling all that off. He's only 31 years old. He's younger than my brother, 32 now maybe. And for us to do this in a transitional season with so many new signings and to then still finish 8th, and at the beginning of the season we said we would be happy with 8th, and that we kind of guessed that's where we will finish. So he's done very well. I know we've had blips in the season, but like I said, transition, new manager. Next year, the players will be behind him. So I think 8 out of 10, is a respectable score. And so I'm fairly happy with it. Because like I said, if we had qualified for Europe in 8th and Palace didn't win the FA Cup, we'd be buzzing, wouldn't we?
No, 100%. Jack?
I'm going to go with a 7. I think an 8 out of 10, we would have probably... I think there's been some bad moments. There's been some inconsistent moments. There's been doubts at times for me personally. I think I'll happily admit that. I'm not gonna say that I was wrong to have my doubts. I think that I was right to have doubts after we lost 7-0 in a game. And the Brentford game was an absolute mess as well, following on from the Leicester. So I did have my doubts. But every single time I've had doubts in my mind, he's proved me wrong. And I think that's really, really good. I do think there's stuff that we can improve on. I'd like to see us be a bit more consistent across the season rather than going through good spell, bad spell, good spell, bad spell, which is what we seem to be doing. But yeah, like Ben says, any other season we would have qualified for Europe. I think that certainly takes a point or two off that we didn't qualify for Europe in the end, which is a real shame. And considering the positions we were in at times, deep in the Champions League places, second after we drew with Southampton, that's a high up in the table, and to sort of drop down a little bit. But, there's been some great aspects of this season. We've come from behind more than any other team in this league, but we've also dropped quite a lot of points from being in front. So, yeah, it's for me, it's a 7 out of 10. and I've had a pretty good time, but it's not quite reaching the levels of like the Derby season when we qualified for Europe, which was amazing.
But we were only 1 point off of.
We were only 1 point off, but I do feel like this is something that somebody said, like, it's an analysis of points. I know it sounds really weird, but because the bottom half was so bad, it means the points were better spread up the top, if that makes sense. So you're more likely to get more points at the top than other seasons. So any other season, we'd probably have got like 55. And that's fine. And that's just because the bottom three was so bad. So I'm not taking anything away from only being a point off, but there was definitely reasons why the points totals were very different to what they normally are this season. So yeah, it wasn't quite the heights of the De Zerbi season or some other seasons, but yeah, it was definitely a really good season with some great home wins. I think we kind of wrestled with home form. You know, we used to be crap at home, no matter what the opponent. And we've had some great wins at home.
Yeah.
We still struggle against the lower teams, but we still had some great wins
But
at home.
I actually might want to change my score to maybe like a 7.3 actually, because you reminded me about how many points we have actually dropped from winning positions, and that is the amount we've dropped. 22 or whatever it was at the end of the season that's a joke. That's really, really poor. So yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say 7.3. I'm going to change it to.
My score was also 7 out of 10. Very similar to Jack, really. The fact that we actually only ended up being, was it 4 points off Forest, which really frustrated me, because it was like, if only we could have converted those wins, you know, for those winning positions and keeping those wins. And like you said, Jack, from when we played Southampton on the third match, I'm looking at stats now. I didn't just pluck this out. Match day 13, being in fourth, to then literally 5 match days later being in 10th. Like, it just showed the drop off, like in that little period, and we just had too many of those periods for me, and that's why I can only give it a 7. But just to reiterate what you both said, it has been a great season. Like, you know, considering the amount of change, the amount of players that came in, a new manager, you know, losing arguably our best player ever, Pascal Gross, to then doing what we did this season, I think is very commendable. So yeah, a 7 out of 10 for me, I think is a very fair score and room for improvement for next season.
Yeah,
so,
I do think it's very important to say, like, this is his first season. And actually, if you look back at, because I did this the other day, if you look back at all 3 of our predictions, we all pretty much predicted around 8th.
there you
that's
go.
where we all decided.
High IQ, knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So
Love that. Right, there you go. Okay, and then just quickly, boys, for next season, we're going to quickly rattle through these. So, Premier League finish, I'll start us off. I'm going to go big and bold. I think we're going to finish 6th. I think we're going to have a good season next season. I'm going to go bold. I feel like we're going to really kick on. I think if we can keep, you know, Matoma, as well as, you know, all the key players, which look like we are, apart from probably João Pedro, it looks like we're going to keep most of our players. We're going to add, I think we're going to strengthen the summer. I think a lot of the players that we've got are going to do really well, like the Gruders, the Weefers, the Belabers, Minters. I think they're all going to kick on next season. And I think we're going to have a really good season. So I'm going to go 6th. Ben?
I'm going to say 7th. I think we're going to climb up 1 spot. I don't think all the teams above us are going to be really, really good next season. I think some of them might drop off because they've got European competitions to focus on. We might as well. You never know if the Palace stuff happens. I know you keep telling me to stop saying that, but I'm going to say 7th for where we're going to finish.
Yeah. Jack?
as it stands at the moment, I'm going to go. I mean, it's very early to be doing predictions, but I would say 6th. I'd say about that. If we can keep everyone together, if we can really focus, we can get some of the bad aspects out of our games and improve upon the good aspects. The world's our oyster. So yeah, that's
well said, Jack.
Ben's liking all my phrases tonight. Like, world's my oyster, and I do think that, like, yeah, I think let's improve a bit and let's aim for European football next season. Because I think there was a little bit of an acceptance that maybe European football was a aspiration more than a requirement for the manager this season. I think next season let's move it up a notch and be like, let's aim for it. Let's try and get European football with this squad. So yeah.
No, agreed. Player to watch out for. Let's go with Jack. Who's your player to watch out for?
Brian Gruder. I think he's going to have a big season next year.
Yeah. Ben?
I like that shout. I'm going to say Jack Hinchelwood. I know we've seen him already, but I just think what we're watching out for.
That's a
is
stupid
him
suggestion. Stupid suggestion.
Let me land, mate. Fucking hell. We let you talk for half an hour. I'm going to say Jack Hinchelwood because we're going to watch out for him to get his England call up next season.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice. I'm going to go with Carlos Baleba
good
now.
enough,
It's a very
Jack?
boring answer.
That was fine. That was
That
fine.
was good.
To watch out for.
I'm going to go with Carlos Baleba purely because obviously we.
I think we've watched him before.
We've watched out for him. We've
No, what
watched
do you mean?
out for Carlos Baleba.
We've seen
No,
him play
as in-
to
as
watch
in-
out for.
Yeah, as in like to have a really good season. That's the question, right? As in like the player
No,
to
it's
watch out
like-
for. What do you mean?
it's like a-
So hold on. So Jack Hinchelwood is that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense either. Then if you're going to play by those rules.
No, but Baleba's
Otherwise,
like
we're going to have to be players like
unbelievable.
Howe.
One of our
We've got to
players.
go for like under 18 products. Otherwise, what are you
Well,
talking
it is,
about?
yeah. That's what it normally is. It's like surprise. It's like who's
All
gonna
right,
be
so, okay then.
surprised, like-
Harry Howe then.
Ramsey.
All right, Harry Howe then. There you go, mate. Do you want? Is that the answer? Is that the answer you want from me?
No, but Baleba's just like, why are we watching out for him? We know he's one of
Yeah,
our best players. There's nothing to watch out for.
No, I'm going to be the decider
no,
on this
as in,
one,
like-
Maz.
I think he's going to go like the next level. Like he's going to go another level to what he's been at.
Well, he's
'Cause he's
tweaking.
I think he's been inconsistent this season. I think he has.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough,
there's a
fair
bit
enough,
of
fair
pressure.
enough,
What's wrong with
fair
that?
enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
I
think he's gonna
agree,
go to
I
the next
agree.
level.
You
No,
don't agree, Jack. You don't agree. You
no,
just
no, I
said-
do. I do. If Maz thinks that,
Yeah,
I think
that's
Maz is.
Mug.
If Maz thinks that, I think Maz is wrong. Look, I'll stand up and say I think Maz is wrong that he's been inconsistent. But if that's Maz's opinion, then we should respect it.
Maz, is it painful sitting on Jack's tongue?
Right, can you just give your answers then? Jack, give your answer. Who's your player to watch out for?
Yeah, Jack Hinchelwood. Jack already
I
has.
have.
Bro's crashing out.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
killed
sorry, no, he
Maz.
said Gruder. He said Gruder. Sorry, he said Gruder. He
yeah,
said
yeah.
Gruder. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next award. Young player to watch out for. Now I'm going to go with Gruder. So.
I'm going to go with Danny Welbeck. All
Yeah.
these Maz's stuff.
No, Gruder's actually legit. Gruder's
Lewis
a young
Dunk.
player, and he's. Right, mine's Gruder. Jack, what's yours?
Mine is, I think, Harry Howell's going to have a good season if he gets involved. But also, because we're doing Maz's made-up rules now, yeah, I think Adam Webb still be a really good young player to look out for.
The cops are coming for him.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
Ben.
I'm going to say lukewarm Palmer. I think he's going to have a good impact off the bench for us next season and surprise them.
Who?
Nice.
Tommy Watson.
Tommy
Oh,
Watson.
Tommy. Right.
Right, okay. And then final one is your one player to sign. I'm going to start us off because I can't be asked with the backlash. I'm going to go Coppola, the centre-back, the young centre-back. Get him in, develop him, see how he gets on. And he's very highly touted in Italy. So yeah, Coppola as centre-back. We need another centre-back. Simple.
Sorry, Maz, you cut out for me for the whole point there. What did you say?
Well, he said Coppola.
Oh yeah, fuck! I forgot we're signing. That's so sick. You should sign him on FIFA Football Manager. All the
Yeah.
time.
I'm a big fan of his dad, Francis Ford. Made that joke on Twitter the other day. If I was to sign,
Did it go down like a lead balloon as well?
yeah, it went down like a lead balloon.
How do I dislike?
Yeah, because the problem with you two is you're so uncultured, unlike me, who knows who Francis Ford Coppola is, unlike you two heathens. What player would I like to sign? I think looking through all the players that are available,
Dominic Solanke.
Dominic Solanke, no. I think I would
Callum
go
Wilson.
for... Yeah, Callum Wilson. Yeah, Danny Ings. I think I suggested Danny Ings. Carl Walker was one that I put up for a bit of bait the other day on Twitter, and a lot of people fell for that one. Player,
There's a joke there of Kyle Walker, but I'm not gonna...
player that I would like us to sign. Do Ben first, and I'll have a think.
All right, fucking hell. This is a generation stink from Jack today. I'm going to say, well, I think is I wrote down Jonathan David on a 3, but I think he's going Napoli, so it's kind of poo-pooed that a little bit. I just thought that would have been a really, really good smart signing to make on a 3, but he wants to pick Napoli, who just wants the Serie A. Makes sense. He wants to play with Scott McTominay. Fair play. So one player to sign. I don't really have one other than Jonathan David.
I have decided that I've got one that I've plucked out of thin air. I can't say his name, but he's been really, really good for PSV, I think, or Feyenoord. I get those two mixed up quite a few times. But I watched a compilation of him the other day, and it begins with a P, and he's Brazilian, like Pac Chao or something, something like that.
Pac Chao, yeah, I think
yeah, something like that. He looks like a really good player, but I do you know what? I've fallen out of the loop with signings around the world. I'm like not with it anymore.
I think supporting Brighton, you don't really have to keep an eye on it because
they just sort of appear, don't they? You
know,
who's the player?
Random
Who's the player that I really like? I mean, of players who've been relegated, like I'm trying to think who got relegated in the end. Like none of them were any good because they were
Liam Delap would have been good, but he's going Chelsea.
Yeah, Liam Delap was a decent
Leicester,
little player.
Ipswich.
Leicester. That Facundo Buonanotte looks quite good.
Let's get in Didi.
El Canus
We were
is a
trying to
decent
get him.
little player,
We were
but
trying
we
to get him
don't
for a
really
while.
need him.
I just think we need to listen to the Jack Football Manager thing and just sign like loads of old has-been players as like coaching staff, and then that'll sort me out. So yeah. Sorry,
We've got enough of
I really botched.
Oh,
All right.
I'm going to say one player to sign. Harvey Elliott's going to be mine.
Ooh,
Oh, I don't
just
like
what we
that at all.
need. Another, just what we need. Another young attacking midfielder. We haven't got enough of those. Already,
Generational
have we?
stinker from Ben. Yeah.
Yeah.
What phase is Ben in right now?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Enough. All right. Boys,
Single.
that does summarise this. Oh, all the shots have been shot today. Right, boys. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for watching.
We forgot one.
Made it this far.
We've got one. It was
What,
bold prediction.
Yeah, I
Do you
didn't
wanna hear
have
my
one,
bold
so I
prediction?
skipped. Go on, then, Ben.
I think we can all agree on this. My bold prediction is for James Milner to get over 90 minutes next season.
Fair enough. My bold prediction, actually, Ben said already. I actually think is a really good bold prediction. Jack Hinchelwood gets an England call-up.
Yeah,
I
nice.
should just steal him out.
Well, yeah, no, because I thought that was a really good shout, and then you just make a joke.
I got
my answer's
I got a
out
bold
all the
prediction.
time.
I got a bold prediction. The player to watch out for is going to be Carlos Baleba. So there you go. That is my bold prediction of this season.
Yeah.
So on that note, we've been Seagulls Social. This has been your season awards, and thank you so much for sticking. If you stuck around for this whole podcast, I pity you and I feel sorry for you. But we hope you enjoyed it, and we shall see you next time. Put your comments down below what you want to see us do during the off season. Give us any suggestions, and we'll try and make some special one-off episodes for you guys.
Let us know your awards as well. Go through it during the podcast.
And let us know if you're going to be watching out for Carlos Baleba, because that's what I'll be doing. Yeah,
tell your friends to keep an eye on this lad. He's very good. He's
tell your friends who support the Big Six. What's this young and unknown player called Carlos
Baleba? He's going to burst on the
Baleba?
scene.
I'm still
He's going to
sticking
burst
by.
on the scene.
I'm still having it. No, because we have
To be fair, also
we have young player to watch out for. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's the end of this podcast. We hope you liked it. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. A-Town down.